Hello, this is Kristopher Chesterman. Again, my review topic is legal and legislative precedent in the American colonies. This time, my focus is on the origins of the laws of the mother countries, specifically England and Spain. What laws did those countries pass for their colonies? Why did they pick those laws? What are the origins or precedents they used? And so I found several articles, and the three I chose are Acquiring Empire by Law, Comparative Law in the British Colonial America, and Spain and the Founding of Jamestown. The first two focus on Roman law and how it was applied to colonies. Acquiring empire by law talks about two specific possession policies that were in Rome, and these are often thought of as specific laws when in fact they were general categories of operation. And the author makes the claim that, contrary to popular consensus, that individuals representing colonial powers claim laws using these Roman precedents in the hopes that other countries would recognize the legitimacy of the claim. And so these claims were made innovatively, creatively, basically saying, we have this land, this is what we're using to claim it as ours, and hope that that stuck, or use other maneuvers in order to make that more legitimate. The other one, comparative law in colonial America, discusses the presence of Roman law in the colonies and whether or not it was present before the Revolution. And their conclusion was that it was present before the Revolution only so much as England had given them. England got the laws from Rome, passed them for their country, as well as transferred them to America, and then America incorporated what they liked from those laws after the Revolution. And that particular article uses John Adams as an example, pre-revolutionary John Adams' work, in order to make the case that it was present as well. Spain and the Founding of Jamestown takes a different approach and looks at international relations, specifically what Spain's reaction was to the founding of Jamestown. This one used a lot more primary sources than the other two articles, as well as many of the primary sources being in Spanish, which I thought found very interesting. It makes sense, but to see how a foreign language source is used is intriguing to me. And so that article tracks the events of Jamestown and specifically Spain's reactions, advice given by court advisors to the king and queen, as well as this new thing called reason of state, which is basically political practicalism instead of religious fervor or ethnic fervor that Spain had used to cleanse the Iberian Peninsula of religions and minorities that they felt threatened their way of life. Specifically Muslims and Jews. And so they concluded that Spain did not have enough money to fight a war, and also that they were at more peace with England than they had been in the past, and they did not want to jeopardize that relationships partially because they couldn't afford the war, but also they wanted to continue the good relationship they had with England. The other two sources use a lot of secondary sources, especially legal commentaries and summations of the various events and legal trends that were published. Some of them were early sources, such as the 1800s and early 1900s, but secondary nonetheless. Additionally, the other two articles, Acquiring Empire by Law and Comparative Law in Colonial British America, they re-examine old assumptions. They look at what people thought about before, what they assumed, and use their sources to see if that is really what is happening or if people are just agreeing with the majority because it's the majority. And so the first one, Acquiring Empire by Law, used the fewest primary sources, whereas the second one's major primary source was the works of John Adams, because that's what they used to make the conclusions that they make. Overall, it was a very interesting read, and I did struggle finding some sources in the beginning when I was searching for this topic, but once I did, I found several other sources that I can use. Two ones of particular interest involve finding additional origins for these laws, an Italian Renaissance legal commentator, and Alfonso X from Spain, who was apparently the first lawgiver of medieval Spain. So I look forward to looking up some of those primary sources and getting a real handle on the origins of imperial law. Thank you.